Well, hi everybody, and welcome back to eddyeigo. This lesson, we're going to be talking about the word most. I'm sure you've heard it if you have been trying to learn English. You've heard the word most before. It's used in a variety of different ways. One of the ways that you may hear about it is when used in the superlative form of an adjective. That's when you're using it in with an adjective like most beautiful. She is the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. Or he is the most intelligent man I have ever talked to. But actually, we won't be talking about the word most in that sense, because that word most, the superlative most, has nothing to do with the comparison with almost. So we won't be covering that at all today. I may do something in the future where we talk about comparative and superlative forms of adjectives, but today that form of most will not be covered. So like I said, we're going to be talking about how most compares with almost. But before we do, I'd like to talk to you about something else. And those are determiners. Determiners. In Japanese, determiners are called genteishi. Now, the Japanese kanji is very good because genteishi says very clearly what a determiner is. So if we think about a determiner, for example, if we just say the word pen or boy or clock or mouse or phone. Now, these are typical nouns, and they can be, alone they are just vocabulary items. They have no meaning. If you just say pen, what pen? Or boy, what boy? So it has no meaning. So in order to indicate some specific pen, boy, clock, mouse, we use a determiner, such as this pen, or that boy, or all the clocks, or my mouse, or your phone. So in all of these cases, this, that, all, my, yours are determiners. All right, that should be pretty easy to understand. So for example, if you think about it, again, I'll give you an example of pen. If I say to you just pen, you have no idea. But if I say to you my pen, or this pen, or this white pen, or if it's far away, that pen, okay? So the determiner identifies some noun. Now the thing to remember, the important thing to remember when using a pen, or using a determiner, is determiner, which we'll write like this, plus noun, meishi, create what is called a noun phrase. This is a very important concept to keep in mind, because a noun phrase is one group. So we don't say my pen, we say my pen, your pen, this pen, that pen. It's like the determiner and the noun become one word. This is very, very important. So if we go over here, we can see what are determiners. So look at here, the, this, that, these, though, my, your, his, her, our, their, each, neither, all, every, most. Today we're talking about most, and look here, most is also a determiner. It's also an adjective too, but we'll talk about that soon. Many, much, several, some, few, little, no, other, another, what, which, and whose. So these determiners, the use of determiners, how to use determiners, when to use determiners is very important in English, and we will cover that in a future lesson. But just for today, I just wanted to give you a quick rundown of what is a determiner, because I'll need it to explain to you about how to use most. So let's get into most. So as we just saw in our list of determiners, most plus a noun, in that case, most is a determiner. Notice this, determiner, noun, determiner, noun. There's no of, there's no the, there's no of the. It's determiner, noun. So that means, in this case, we'll have these noun phrases. Please repeat after me, just the red part. These are noun phrases, must stay together, okay? Please repeat. Most Japanese people. Next one. Most Korean food. Okay. Most Italian food. Most people. Most nights. So these noun phrases must be said almost like they are one word. So let's repeat these sentences. Keep your noun phrases tight, keep them together, and let's see how we sound. I'll read it slowly at first. Most Japanese people eat rice for dinner. Okay, let's do it more quickly. Most Japanese people eat rice for dinner. Okay, the next sentence slowly. Most Korean food is spicy. More quickly now. Most Korean food is spicy. Okay, for the remaining three sentences, let's just do a little bit high speed. Try to catch the pause, try to get the intonation. Please repeat. I like most Italian food. Next one. Most people like chocolate. Most nights I watch a movie. One more time, it's very, very important. Most plus a noun makes a noun phrase. A noun phrase is a determiner and a noun. No of the, or anything like that. Most Japanese people, most Korean food, most Italian food, most people, most nights. Okay? All right, let's look at another pattern that we have. This is most of. All right, this one's pretty good, most of. In this case, if you use most of plus a determiner plus a noun. Okay, determiner noun comes together, so no of, no the. Okay, sometimes we will there is a the, because the is determiner, but only one determiner, I should say. So most of, determiner, noun. This creates a noun phrase. Let's repeat these examples, just the red parts. Please repeat after me. Most of my time. Next, most of the birthday cake. Okay, next one. Most of the people at the party. Next, most of the food. Next, most of that building. And finally, most of her answers. Okay, let's go through these sentences. I'll read a couple of them slowly, then quickly. Watch the breaks. Keep your noun phrases together. If you learn how to keep these noun phrases together, almost like one word, your English will sound so fluent and so nice. All right, so let's try the first sentence. I spend most of my time working. Quickly. I spend most of my time working. The next one. She ate most of the birthday cake. Quickly. She ate most of the birthday cake. All right, from here, I'm just going to read them relatively quickly. Try to catch the pauses. I won't say pauses. I'll say separation. Try to listen for the separation caused by the intonation and things like that. And watch out for the noun phrases. Please repeat. Most of the people at the party had to leave early. Next one. When I arrived, most of the food was already gone. Next. Most of that building was destroyed in the fire. And finally, she tried hard, but most of her answers were wrong. Okay, good. We have most as a determiner, most people. And then we have most of determiner noun. For example, most of the people, we could say. Little bit nuance, little bit difference in meaning. Do you know what the difference in meaning is? Let's take a look at them and I'll tell you. So if you say most people, it means of all the people in the world. Okay? If you say most Japanese people, it means most people who are Japanese. So it is all of some group. If you say most of the people, it means most people in some smaller group. Can you understand that? So if we say most of the people at the party left early. So we are talking about only the people at a party, so we say the people at the party. Most of the people at the party had to leave early. So keep these straight. If you're talking about most people, you're talking in general. In general. If you're saying most of the people, you are talking in some smaller group. You got that? Okay, we've got one more way that we use most. And this is when we're using most as an adverb. Okay, adverb. Fukushi, right? And let's look at the first sentence. This is always the same, the most. And it refers, it's modifying, 修飾する, modifying the verb doshi, right? So look at the first sentence. I like chocolate ice cream the most. So I like the most is what this means, right? I like nani o, the most. I like something the most. Okay? So please repeat. I like chocolate ice cream the most. Quickly now. I like chocolate ice cream the most. Next one. What do you want the most in life? Quickly. What do you want the most in life? Next sentence. Of all her boyfriends, she loved him the most. Quickly now. Of all her boyfriends, she loved him the most. All right, now I'm going to read the rest of them. I'm going to read them relatively quickly, but try to catch the grouping. He looks the most like his father. Of all the people I have known, I respect him the most. And finally, what part of the movie scared you the most? Okay, now, how did you do? Could you catch it? Could you catch all those different uses of the word most, the most of the? One thing to remember when using most of the people, for example, most of the people at the party had to leave early. Most of the noun is the same as almost all. This is a very important thing. Let's put the whiteboard back up there and take a look at that. If you say most of the some noun, the can be any determiner, of course. We can also say and of course, the can be any determiner also. Okay? So most of the people, almost all of the people, are pretty much the same meaning. So also, if you say most Japanese, where most is a determiner, this is virtually the same as almost all Japanese. So watch out for this now so that you don't make mistakes, right? Most of the, and almost all of the are similar. And most something, and I misspelled almost, sorry about that. Most Japanese will be almost all Japanese. No the. All right? Okay. Now, as always, I'll be making a separate video with some example sentences. I'll try to come up with 50 sentences using the word most. And you can practice those to get your noun phrases together, to get used to hearing the correct way that most is used. I'll also, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it right away, but I'm also planning to make a mixed file where I'll mix the sentences of most and almost. And you can listen to these. They'll probably end up being about 100 sentences. And you can use these for listening practice, and you can use these for repeating practice. So I think it will do you very, very good to help make your English more and more fluent. All right? Okay. Now, that's it for almost and most this week. Next week, we're going to take a deep dive into something that's very, very difficult. It's very, very hard to explain. It's very, very hard to understand. Even native speakers, if you ask them about it, they'll get mixed up trying to explain it to you. And that is how to use the words which and that. So which and that, very hard to use. Of course, it's hard for non-native speakers to use. It's hard for Japanese people to use. But it's also hard for native speakers. And many native speakers use them wrongly, actually. So if you're listening to native speakers and you say, oh, that native speaker said this, must be okay, may not be true. But we'll let you know what the correct what are the correct ways you can use which and that in a sentence. And we hope that it will make your English better and better. So until next week, keep practicing, keep studying. All my students, I'll see you in class next time. And happy Eigo. See you next week.